for a map like this?
Ooh, Astra. So I'm hovering it. So there's the Phoenix Android we figure would pick. So it is going to be that defending side for NRG to start here. Daps can easily throw up a lot of his Cypher traps. We did see him move a few within previous games and matches if you watch their VODs. 2B, 2C, just to the flow of the round, trying to read their opponents. So they're never stale with where they're leaving that defense.
You know,
Let's see what these final lock-ins are.
Cloud9 starting on the attack, I'm kind of concerned for each team's defending half. So for Cloud9, particularly on the A side, one of the things that I noticed, and really this applies for the C side as well, is they'll push the garage window. But Leaf will often blast pack up into heaven and just hold the stairs angle. That's another alleyway that the defense aren't going to have the ability to push up and retake the site. Yeah, go for flank, but Mitch is going to be holding that as well because he's got the trips, he's got the camera, he's got all the tools necessary to stop those flanks. But on the flip side, I've noticed that Cloud9 over-rotate on the defense, and NRG love to play a slow, methodical style, which is often going to have teams rotating over to really solid sold fakes. And NRG are phenomenal at that. So I'm really concerned with how each team is going to tackle the defensive half, and what are they going to bring to the table to answer this attack plan that should kind of counter the other.
Absolutely. And speaking to that for C9, they love to kind of control that aspect of the game. Most of their win percentage out of all of their Haven plays comes from that attacking side, almost over 63%. So seeing them want to have it and control it, kind of creep over to the defensive side as well. Could bite them in the butt. You're right. We'll have to see how they kind of coordinate that against NRG, who does, as you say, play a bit reserved. They play to that turtle to read the strategies, and then they'll explode once they feel like they have momentum or they have a control over the map and information they can use.
One of the things we'll have to keep our eye on for sure is this Astra play. We talked a little bit about Floppy. You know, new meta, new agent, has the ability to kind of keep up with some of the other controller players. One of the things that I've noticed is a lot of teams using that cosmic divide in kind of like a fake manner. Like, you know, they'll put it up and then not even hit the site where the wall goes up. So the decision making and where that ult does end up getting placed is going to play a little bit of a factor, especially with Floppy on the site hits and Sam on the site retakes.
We're going to have to start giving these names. Like, if somebody puts 3 stars somewhere, we should just call it Orion's Belt or something. There's going to be constellations coming up soon here. There's going to be names soon for these plays. Starting off towards the bottom, let's see what they decide. It looks like they just want to pressure and see what util they can get out first, and see who's over at A here with the drone.
What a read, though, from NRG. 4 stacked on A with passive play on C. Next does get flashed out by those paint shells, rather flushed out. R9 will back away.
So mid control has been held so far by Mitch. They don't have to worry about too much going down there. Again, a pretty passive pistol here to see coming out. NRG was able to do quite well. If I remember, looking at their pistols, they were only able to win 1 in their game, but take the entire series. So they usually fare quite well after. That's 2, though.
That's going to be brutal. They'll start the retake early, though. They won't quite let Cloud9 have freedom on the site, but the smokes and, of course, the paint shells making it rain into the Nebula. Has to retreat as Sam Yu is going to take another repeat here as EU will opt in to go towards the heaven. A long flank here for Daps. He needs to hurry up because they don't have a lot of time to retake the site, as we see Sam already entering through. He gets domed by Poise, and now for Daps, he's probably maybe considering the post-plant scenario, getting those exit frags if they do decide to go that way. EU is going to be forced up here, push through. Great shot there from Poise. They won't even opt in to go back the other way because they've got so much control in this link area.
A nice quick return back to the A side on that. A little bit of pressure thrown. You peel off, and you always have to consider, as the defensive unit, how many you're going to leave there. Who's going to start leaning towards a different spike site? That's where C9 Blue catches them off. NRG loses that first one. But like I said, NRG within the most recent series that they've been playing haven't been grabbing pistol rounds. And they're usually able to come around within the next few, find some thrifties, or take back that first gun round where they usually are successful.
You know, I don't really have like a stat on this, so I'm just gonna try to talk about it without having the statistics. But Cloud9
Float
have
it to me.
quite yeah, exactly. Yeah, Cloud9 have had some really strong starts in a lot of maps, and it's usually, you know, the slow game for the teams to claw their way back in. I think NRG is the team that can do that, but it definitely gets scary. You know, when you're down 7-0 or like 8-1 or something
Yeah.
crazy like that, you really start to consider what could happen in this match. You know, a couple of rounds that we let go,
Ooh.
and it's over. There's not much we can do off it.
It is not, and you see the ferocity with that C9 took that first round. Now the second one, they're keeping it all long range here, except for Lee, feeling comfortable in the garage to make sure those Spectres can be put to good use. And always following the drone now, the Owl drone, as C9 keeps it safe. EU sees one behind as they look to pepper a bit of damage in, but it just looks like it's going to be a slow rotation to this post plant, where C9 Blue should pick up round 2.
You know, paying attention to the positioning of Leaf, like how he pushed up through C-Link, we're going to see a lot of that. See a lot of that moving into future rounds because, you know, we talked a little bit off broadcast, like this kind of like vision game and like how you push up and how you pull back, and this constant tug and pull. Where Cloud9 don't really allow you to have some of that early ground, and you're going to have to spend more utility retaking the site because they're so far forward.
Yep.
As you're like, I just want to hold Link and make sure that nobody walks upstairs, or like hold garage and make sure that nobody's holding that door angle. But no, they're already in Link, fighting you B, fighting you spawn. Like, you don't have that ability to, or you don't have a lot of utility potentially left doing your early scouting, and now you're using utility just to get to Link, not even get to site.
Yeah, it becomes pretty futile at that point. We see Poise again last round having that Phantom. I always see him purchasing that, feels comfortable on it, wants to get a capitalization on dismissing, getting more ult orbs to himself, or just ult points, I should say. And now we have that first gun round coming up. This is where NRG can usually get a little bit of the patience in their favor, figure out what they're up against, and get a few frags out. Also going against the surplus weapon here in the bonus round of C9 Blue, so they're not too worried about what happens, but they obviously would love to get round 3.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Zeta having a second Phantom, that's a lot invested into this one for sure.
Yeah.
A lot of the utility already gone as well. I think that's partially due to Zeta himself now buying a lot of the utility to opt in for the Phantom. Already off to a
big
poor start. Mitch does get stuffed there by Som. One more push forward. Floppy does manage to find that refrag as Leaf will join him. And now the player's still back site. EU's got a great angle, but is quickly answered back by Zeta. Android in a little bit of trouble. Still waiting for the Cypher to rotate back around, but Daps taking his sweet time now in a 1v2 against Leaf and Zeta. How does he bring this one home?
So far, Cloud9 executing based on power and numbers here, really making it in with a combination of utility. Zeta goes down. Daps now to 1v1. A little tarnished on Leaf, but he's still pretty healthy here.
Daps gotta check that. Oh, he just second guesses himself. He's just like, I got too many angles to worry about. Leaf with the 3K on the round. Orb control next round will give him the showstopper. What a beauty from Cloud9 to answer on the bonus. And this is what we talked about. Once they get rolling, it can be difficult to stop them.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be really tough because now you're going to see a few of the ultimates coming on deck. That's going to be Leaf ready, Poise ready, and when he can get it. And now as we come into round 4, they can decide whether to play to those slow, get one of these long, which looks like what they're going to do here for Leaf or Poise, probably Leaf, so they can make sure that becomes the showstopper in.
Tom playing towards Sewers, has the judge in hand, the most expensive weapon purchased on the side of NRG, and he's just trying to have that control. But unfortunately, it's not really going to be as valuable as the C site has already been taken, and we talked about how far Cloud9 love to force the issue. Showstopper does find Daps as he's just trying to cross the street. X and company having that garage control, but what else can they find in this post?
Yeah, feeling comfortable too. A little respect to NRG here. Showstopper into the eco round, not wanting to leave anything to chance up against this team. And they're going to want these rounds clear and clear. Nice hot hands coming out. Mitch goes down. Little heal on the firewall as a drone goes out. Looks like they're going to get an attempt in here to see what kind of eco damage they can do. So
Still one player towards the long side, watching the flank, and look at that trust. Zeta not even looking behind him. The information should be crystal clear now as it's just down to Som, Judge in hand, Sheriff in hand, and retreating. Cloud9 go hunting. Smell the blood in the water. There's the trail down link.
Yeah.
Well, those shots, Som somehow pulling out the Keanu Reeves, dodging every bullet. He just wants a frag. He just wants one so bad. Boys, though, say no, not today. 4-0 start here for Cloud9.
Someone's going to get it. Let's see if eyes on Android. See whether he plays defensively with this. Run it back up. Looks like he maybe wants it short, maybe wants it mid. Looks like he's going towards garage. Okay. So his garage may run out straight here if they get a nice dart out. Looks like they're trying to work a Sova Phoenix combination to start off there on the side of NRG. And an op on top of B. Let's see what C9 Blue wants to do. It looks like they're actually ready to run pretty hard here towards the A site and at least get a little info or pressure to fake out for a new play.
Android still very reserved, though. You highlighted that potential combination. That's not going to happen. Potentially might happen for the retake instead.
Yeah.
As NRG will be looking to try to secure this round. They have an operator. They've got to run it back. They've got a lot of tools at their disposal, and with an opening frag onto boys, that's going to make things all that much more easier. Daps just spraying through that heaven smoke. Spike still not planted. Mitch now going to do that. Shock darts are going to take him down to 76. He is quite low, but let's see how Cloud9 handle this pressure.
Retake arrow's already been used. Let's see how they get back into this one coming over from the other side. It's going to be Som as he makes his way to. This is going to be the 5 retake on 4. A little hurt for Leaf, a little hurt for Mitch, but they have good positioning for this. There's the run it back down, and they're going to keep going.
Oh, Tex is now going to be forcing that issue against Data 1v3. They're going to potentially look through the smoke, just the shots. He's just trying to get the angle on the spike, but if you recall, Mitch had to move a little to the left as he was planning it. Ray's not going to connect with Texan. NRG solidify around. They stop the momentum of Cloud9, and that is probably the biggest factor moving into this first half.
Yeah, being overwhelmed there was big. Like you said, if that play is going to happen, usually Leafs up top, a lot more forward positioning coming in from Cloud9, but it was kind of that snap play at the end of the round. It looks like NRG was still able to get 5 there to help them out. See what they play this one. They have full util, full weapons. We're seeing Phantoms favored as well here by NRG, as well as Cloud9 Blue. Been seeing that be a huge priority throughout this tournament, Simone. We'll see how it continues to play for each of these players here.
Yeah, so it's still contingent on the type of battles you want to play, right? Like Phantoms is definitely a little bit more favored over towards the long side. At Cloud9, they like to play close, use those smokes, get up in your face, and those sprays are just that much more powerful. Now we're going to see a patented Cloud9 B hit. They've been doing this quite a bit just to kind of mix things up. But with the Hunter's Fury over towards Link, I think the comms where there's a player kind of lurking around there. Daps does end up getting tagged, but the spike is still nowhere near. This position from Android is problematic still, is going to be dealt with. Now a counter Hunter's Fury here from EU. Just trying to find someone. I think he may have gotten a tag. Now the spike's going down.
Daps with a great 1v1 trade there to drop Poise. That was pivotal for regaining A control ground. They're going to make sure that's safe to get the spike going down. Now as they try to fight it, Mitch able to trade over and grab one as EU gets that retribution.
Well, problematic here for him. Has the shock darts. There's the last one. They're going to push the smoke, play together, play within their win condition, and do so masterfully. That was a little bit troublesome. Android did play a big factor. You know, he could have come up a little bit bigger, but that's not the point. The point is that he made Cloud9 second guess where was the positioning of all these NRG players, and they felt a little bit more passive in their approach on towards the B site, losing members left and right. Those numbers started to favor NRG very quickly.
You know, seeing NRG be able to capitalize on these retakes makes me think of when I was watching NRG VODs that whenever they don't win a round by getting kills, this is kind of a tangent. Whenever they don't get around by kills and they plant, they've usually used enough resources where they'll lose the round. But here they're able to just get each post plant, figure out what the other team is doing. So they're kind of like playing against what plagues them right now, and they're able to do it so well, bringing it back almost within 2. They can tie this game up for themselves here. We'll see a lot of Phantoms around the board again. Mitch is down to a Spectre here to make sure there's going to be more utility there for the Cypher, and they can keep their flanks watched.
Speaking of utility, Cosmic Divide available on both fronts here for the Astros. Haven't seen that put to use quite yet. That might be a factor moving into this A-site hit. I've seen a lot of combinations, especially in EU. In particular, some Yoru combinations as well with the
Yeah.
Cosmic Divide, but more or less this could be an opportunity to utilize that, get that site hit, get that plant down, and play for the post plant. What happens?
All right. Starting dart, maybe? Zeta pulls it back. Okay, he's looking for it again. So he has the spike, so I feel like he's going to be using quite a bit of his utility to get in here. Cosmic Divide's out. Simo, this looks like it will be the play.
Still a little bit, maybe cautious, be a little bit considerate. Oh,
they say
I love
bye-bye.
this play because they can't hear anything on the opposite front. You're seeing the rotations come fast for Cloud9. They've managed to convince NRG. It's the important hit, and Lee finds a pick. He does get traded. That was bound to happen. It's going to be the B hit. This is a little bit troublesome, though, because NRG can react to this fast. They're already here fighting with Cloud9, like we've identified, played up close and personal. They push two members back, and Mitch is going to be the sacrificial lamb as he decides to back away slowly. He's managed to make his way out, and now NRG on the site. Floppy thinking about the rotation through Garage. Mitch gets spot out, but it's a quick counter for Mitch. He somehow survives with the frag. Still, they're coming in. They're dominating. Texas down with the up and the Blade Storm down to the 2v2. Floppy on the flank, and you're seeing EU. He's kind of cognizant of it, not really. Looks over, just down to the 1v1. The spray is good, and Cloud9 up by 3.
The moment when you think you're clear, the moment when you think it's safe, we see trade for trade coming in that round. And I love that start. It's not the first time you'll see that strat by a team with a raised pressure towards A. Leaf goes in. That was with a Cosmic Divide. Sometimes you see that just as a showstopper from short if a raise can get all the way up. It pulls over so much pressure, the team can basically four-man a site wherever they want. We saw it there with the Cosmic Divide. It was really well played. And it just back and forth comes up for C9 in the end.
New round, a new day.
Yeah.
We're just over the half of the half. Slightly over. Cloud9 playing this one a little bit slower. Kind of open things up.
See where they decide to go. Stars are all the left side of the map. Then again, as I said before, NRG will switch where they play daps. Right now he's over towards A. They can leave A, play a higher majority leaning towards B, towards C if they want, or play him in a position where he can just hang out, be completely safe for any utility to come in. Looks like it's going to be a little love here towards C from C9, and it's a right call for NRG. Let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, this is scary. They don't really have a lot of that utility, like a showstopper or something explosive to get into the site. Tom's waiting with the charge. He's going to find one. A quick trade, but still, Android's there laying in wait right outside. That's the spike called. NRG, come, bring the cavalry. We've got the control, but Leaf there on the flank. You see Android. He's understanding that something's going on the opposite side, waiting for it to subside. Leaf's going to find that one, but still, that's not the spike secure. One player logs, one player plat, and the plat player EU will take him down. Floppy now alongside Zeta, looking for the positioning down long, just down to the heavy shoulders of the Sova. He missed shoulder day, and that's NRG with a round.
Really great read by NRG. They say, all right, let's kind of stack C, throw the Cypher traps over to A. We'll have a better lean rotation. People can leave that area. We'll have a bit of an idea of what's going on. And having the numbers there paid off. So really nice mid kind of game read here by them. Able to stack the site they needed on a gun-to-gun round, too. It wasn't a choice for decision on Eco. So really helping themselves to get back into this game ever so slightly by thinking outside the box and getting in the heads of Cloud9 Blue.
We also have to recall that we kind of identified the weakness being the defense for both teams. And
yeah,
Cloud9's really, I wouldn't say struggling, but normally it's a little bit more dominant than this. So they're really hoping to find at least like a 7-5 and 8-4, something that they can be quite positive with. This eco round's going to make that a little bit more challenging. Still possible. We've seen some crazy eco rounds over the course of our VCT kind of year so far, but to see if that kind of comes to fruition. Android playing over towards the A site alongside his trusty Daps.
Ooh. A lot of ultimates up here. You always have to remember the game of Valorant can change between the 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th, whatever round right in between there when everybody's getting their ultimates. Here we are into the site.
Oh, they'll find one here for Android. Still the shock darts trying to delay the plant. They're in! Oh goodness, Poise is going to get so much value from that dismiss. They'll find an upgrade on the ground as well. It's a 3v2 somehow, some way. And through the gravity well, they will plant that spike. Floppy down to 6. He will sacrifice his life if necessary, just to make sure that these players can play for the body peaks. Just down to Daps. This eco round slipped away so quickly. Now Daps 19 HP. 1v3. Ultimate's even available. If it gets to that, Zeta can play post-plant. He's stuck right by Graffiti, not moving. That was a tough one. We were just kind of like, you know, la-di-da, it's an eco round, but they managed to really, really slip that through the fingers of NRG.
So in the beginning of the round, I was thinking, okay, this shouldn't be too bad. You see how the ultimate's ready here for Android and whatnot, but Android's posted up right outside, like up against the wall to A long
position.
If you're never going to be able to use run it back there, so run it back's kind of null for the round, right? Being in that spot, you're one and done. You know, if run it back were to be used, you send it down cat there, or sorry, cat. You're short. Not every short is cat. Yeah, but yeah, so it just obviously that was their decision for the round. It's not like he was going to try to run it back there, but having so many ults ready, I think they did underestimate the eco round. So big props to Cloud9 there to just be able to throw NRG off guard, sweep the rug out from under them. And now they have 4 ultimates ready on C9 Blue's side as they look to take more control here. 6-3 coming into round 10.
Long cats, short cats, back cats, thin cats. We got all types of cats.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like you said, a little bit of a tougher buy here, a little bit of a tougher situation for NRG. We're starting to see some Vandals. I see Android. He wants to play for those longer angles. He is positioned over towards potential Raj long rotate. Gets the information from Sam that there's players playing for Orb. But Cloud9 haven't really given a lot of focus over to the C site. It's been a little bit problematic. They've gotten to control some rounds and successful plants, but you know, ever since they've had PTSD from that tight angle from Sam and then Android holding that as well, they've had some tougher rounds on C. So A, as we've kind of highlighted in the pregame, seems to be their focus.
Great camera. Look at that, seeing him from the top. He hasn't shot anybody. He's just picking him out. He's able to get one with the showstopper to start, though. His ultimates start flying left and right.
Oh, wow. You find so much value, but still, Poise is going to play off the dismiss. Beautifully done. Just down to leave the spray. Not enough to finish off Android. Too close for comfort, but NRG steal around.
Okay. That... The end of these rounds are not telling me too much. It's telling me that this is getting more intense, but they're becoming straight firefights. NRG's trying to activate on these retakes before we're seeing C9 Blue be able to get into a post-plant position. Almost everybody was in like the same spot there when they were trying to get the fight out, just to kind of defaults. And outside the site was not to be had by C9 yet enough to get a coverage on the spike. So NRG's trying to turn up the tempo. C9's trying to turn up the tempo, and we're getting a bit of a back and forth now. 6-4 as we moved around 11.
Yeah, a lot of ultimates used there from NRG to secure that. See if one more kind of comes into the picture. There's 2 rounds left, so orb control might be a factor, or they'll just kind of chalk things up to getting, you know, those orbs, frags, or whatever, what have you. But once again, Cloud9 thinking about a potential A hit, wondering if this is trying to be some sort of sold fake, but NRG Android still survives. Even the blast back. How does he get another? The gravity well helps him out finally. The delayed blast back from the grave. Poise finds one, pushing up onto Daps through short. He wraps around from long. Now text early on the site. You highlighted this. You like to get in position early to not let Cloud9 have the plant. Poise on the retreat, does get shot in the back, but they've already rotated some of the members. Just Floppy, to be exact, over towards C.
It's going to be a rush plant. 300 in the pocket. ASAP. Maybe a fake. Quick peek. No, not even a fake. Just straight down. And here comes the movement. Great positioning by Mitch. At least 1, 2, or some eco damage to start. But it's going to be a Spectre versus a quick flick Vandal.
Oh, Mitch. Oh, Mitch. Oh, Mitch! Tex does his homework, and he passes the test too. 3K on the round. NRG up to 5. This is not going as expected for Cloud9. NRG are packing a punch.
And we said they'd start slow. We came in here saying NRG starts a little slow. Even in each round, they kind of have the overarching idea of slow, explode. We're seeing NRG warm up, get into this, feel comfortable, shake everything off, and they're getting control of what is necessary. As well as it's having C9 Blue go up on attack is something you're expecting. So to be able to pull these back and get the 6-6 could be huge here for NRG.
Absolutely massive, because once they move on to the second half, as I kind of identified a potential weakness for Cloud9 in a map that so heavily favors the attack, in the sense that there's a lot of sites to deal with, a lot of sites to work on, and if NRG can play that slow game and call those early rotates early, they are early if they're early rotates, but paying attention to the round at hand, a Cosmic Divide does go up for Floppy, but there's a counter run it back and a Hunter's Root, just a lot of ultimates on the table, but no one's on the site. Cloud9 have pulled off completely. What do NRG do off of this information?
Still have Mitch hanging out towards, if he's seen by this, they know it's a balk on the play, and it does get shot down, so they know they can hold a bit of that pressure. See the push now coming in from Daps. That's going to be one shot. Did he get the fake on there? Coming out, and Mitch gets the better of him.
How? I mean, we identified this as the head-to-head, but it always seems like Mitch is good for one. That is so key! Leap also good for one as well. Players backside, they're trying to force the issue. X finds Leap, hunting down the other duelist, will not find the frag. Floppy converts as well. And it's all down to Android. Has the curveball available. It's a 1v4. Voice is holding the angle. Swings are going to come through from all sides. But just trying to heal up, just trying to survive a 1v3. It's within the realm of possibility, but it's going to be very difficult with players holding the angle. Curveball, now that it's kind of gone and wasted, he can no longer use it to enter the site. Do off this 1v3. Boys holding. Floppy holding, Zeta holding, they're all holding great angles. Boys will seal his fate. Cloud9 find a redemption round to finish 7-5, but still, this was very much a great half from NRG.
Absolutely. That round there, he died early on it, but Mitch won that round. And a lot of these, you can see him coming up big for those ecos. Being able to get a neural uplink so early in the round. I mean, the time had gone by, but still 4 members up after Mitch's kill is such a return on investment. The moment that uplink went through is when Cloud9 hit the site. That's when they saw NRG scattering, and Mitch started off that play there to make sure that last round could be theirs. Nicely done. We'll see if NRG can continue on the defensive side, as they did have good momentum coming in to the second half.
So we didn't quite see some of the aggressiveness from Cloud9 that we kind of anticipated on the A site, but I think it was ultimately just really solid positioning from NRG. But now that we move on to this half, Cloud9 still don't really like to let up that aggressive game. There's a utility frag onto Daps. Now Mitch is holding down long. They walk back into him backwards. What is happening? There's a player garage. Mitch, are you good for more? There's a camera, and it's so nerdy. Spots out 2 players, but do you anticipate EU? No, you don't. Zeta with the Owl drone just setting a couple of pre-fire shots. 4v3 now. Make it a 4v2 as we find another. Just down to Sam and Android. Now the spike's being planted. Poison in a great position to push. They don't need to wait. They don't need to stall. They can force the issue, and Cloud9 winning the pistol is key to continue their success.
Simo, what we just witnessed right there is just early Astra, errors. With Astra being in the front line there at the entry to C for attack, both members of NRG backed up walking in that position thinking it was Watch, but she was an Astra form. So there's nobody so it's just it's a miscomm. But it was an Astra miscomm because they figured she was watching. So it's very interesting to see that. And little things like that obviously be ironed out so fast. That's not going to plague a team. But seeing little things like that are super interesting with her in the mix now.
Yeah. No, I don't anticipate Mitch kind of pulling that one more time. But NRG I think definitely have to be a little bit more careful, because you can already see they're playing so heavy on the extremities over towards A. 3 players stacked up, ready to just push them back. The paint shells, he was running into him, gets taken down by the Spectre beforehand. There's already Tex on site. Shots are good to clean him down. This eco is going to be pretty clear for Cloud9, but even still on an eco round like this, to push the extremity, make that a consistent move for Cloud9. How does that pan out for the rounds to come? Is there going to be heavier presence from NRG on C? Do they opt to go B? What do they do? Because A doesn't feel like an option at the moment.
Flawless.
It's going to be super tough because you need text to be able to open that up. You need Android to be able to focus alt orbs. And here to the right side, they could get a silver dart to make sure that happens. They are putting duelists same spot.
Oh
already have flank over to that C side, but Cloud9 Blue has opened the page to this book, and the choose your own adventure seems to be the right path here.
Chapter 1 is the A side, and you see 4 players stacked here. Look at this. Like, we're talking about this in real time, and it's happening before our eyes. You see the gravity well and a beautiful cage, and that's, of course, the attacker cage. First fight, like you said, for Tex does not go his way, but Leaf pushing up, down, long, gets punished by Android, likely a curveball out, and then into the engagement, and now they fight as well.
No way.
Oh, my goodness. Boys and Floppy in tandem, just down to EU. He's in the wrong time zone. Shock Dart's going to definitely hurt. Now Mitch flanking around. Still a 1v3 is doable. But he's in a tough spot. They know where he is. There's the push forward for Mitch with Floppy with the backstab. A beautiful bonus from Cloud9. This is starting to get scary.
You say that, the bonus as well as they pick up all of those rifles that they earned that round. And what a stack. As soon as they knew, they started to put a stranglehold down on it as well. They said, wait, we have a few, there might be more, continue to push. They did not let go. And there you see as well, coming around from the backside, Mitch made sure nobody could get out alive. Cloud9 is not making it easy here for NRG, and it looks like they push him back onto an eco here for round 16.
An interesting call this time around to say, okay, you know, they're not gonna go again, okay? They're not gonna go to the A side again. They still have membership here. Very soft towards the B side. You see Tex trying to fish for information. Okay, Leaf over towards C. That means A might be a little bit more free this time of year. You see Mitch positioned up towards heaven. Zeta playing a little bit off-site. This A site might actually come through on the eco.
Cage triggered. Cage triggered.
All right. You can hear Mitch throwing out his utility. He's playing the slow game, waiting for everybody to get over here so they can get 5 strong in. Astra on the backside. Floppy's throwing down all the stars that he can to make sure this take is an advantage for Cloud9 Blue. Here they go.
Oh, the recon bolt's gonna find so many players. 3. EU still finds one. That's Leaf on a crucial frag. Tex with another. Dax with the 3rd. What is happening on this eco? Just down to Floppy in a 1v2. Definitely possible, but the spike wasn't planted this whole time, and now it's just down to EU. Opens the nose, has no ammo, and the clutch comes for Floppy.
Oh, you could see the distress. As he spun back and forth. We've all been there, but what a round. And those are rounds you can't drop. Those are rounds you can't drop. You have to communicate. You have to 2v1. You have to trade. And it came down to it where, you know, Cloud9 was just rolling through, and they were gelling on it. 1 left alive, and that's all they needed in the chaos, right? So they're finding energy in these post plants. That looks so clean, Simo. That looks so clean, but it was disrupted. And Cloud9 now sits 2 away from taking this map.
This early Astra smoke riv is so dangerous because now Cloud9 are back to their old ways. Yeah, A site, you're not allowed to pass. You shall not pass. Mitch finds an opening pick on the duelist. That is good old reliable Mitch through mid. And the C site's going to be open, but Cloud9, I anticipate, are very comfortable with retaking this site. See, they've got the Cosmic Divide, the Hunter's Fury. They've got a lot of tools at their disposal. And with 2 players on the flank, EU not able to stop them, this is also starting to slip away.
I think Mitch still has a pretty good camera here in sight. They can decide to use it. It just got taken out. Now they head in. Ulti's flying left and right. Leaf.
A little too close for comfort as the showstopper will take out the clone, but not take out Daps. Down to 8. Players for the long side are starting to push forward. Poison Itch will fall just down to Floppy and Zeta, and they're looking to force the issue. NRG will halt them where they stand and secure themselves a round they desperately needed.
So I was wondering 2 rounds ago, that site hold looked really nice as they were getting frag after frag, but they were a little out of position. That time they had the positioning they needed, and we saw frag after frag result in a round win. So Android, the rest of the squad, getting in here as quick as they can. They have the Blade Storm now. They have a Hunter's Fury. They're looking at the uplink. If they can get themselves into that position again, hold, peel back, they have another round.
Jock Dart finds its mark onto Sam. Surprised they didn't find that tripwire. I think they were like right in with one another, but still, nevertheless, it'll stand. NRG just trying to get early information, but look at the positioning here from Daps. Manages to get some pretty decent sight lines for long, but unknowing that Poppy's playing quite close to sewers. C-side is going to be very exposed. Now the comms come in from Mitch. They're C. I'm going to need some assistance. Maybe not. As Mitch finds one once more. Zeta with another through the cage. Can't control the spray through the logs. Mitch is still somehow alive. Does finally get dealt with. As now Leaf becomes a part of the problem. Sam will trade that one out, but it's a 2v2. The spike's still not planted. They need to get it down if they have to bring a threat over to Cloud9. Smoke goes down. That means Cloud9 are halted for now. Sprays come through. Spike still not planted. Sam is the one holding it, just trying to bait them out to push them forward. Shot's good for boys. And Floppy will clean up the last. Rivington, this is match point for Cloud9.
Match point.
A lot of these shots and confidence coming up and energy feeling there. They didn't have control of the site, not somewhere you can plant the spike. And great job by Cloud9 to always make that feel like it's somewhere they don't have control of. Energy doesn't have control of. So C9 really putting the pressure on everywhere they can. They haven't even really played a push-up style to cause energy to turtle. They've allowed energy in. They're coming back into the sites with a bit of the utility and winning these firefights. Leaf on top once again for Cloud9. 18 frags I think I saw right there as Tech's going to see what he can do with the Blade Storm as he goes selling some knives door to door.
Oh, boys. Gets shut down, but Mitch, trusty Mitch, does end up getting traded by Android, making sure his trusty duelist is not left alone to his own devices. But there's just a whole slew of utility stuck there in A-Link. Floppy does find one through that, spraying through. Now the 3v3 with a very injured Android. Doesn't have any utility to heal himself up. No Sage, of course, available either to bring his health back to fruition. Data, the Guardian, flanking around, just trying to cause a ruckus, make them a little confused where Cloud9 might be coming through. Floppy does trade out Leaf, pushed in. Android's down. He was low already, but now it all falls onto Sam. Match point here. Sam needs to get involved. There's going to be the jiggle through the wall, but pushing forward, it's Floppy. Sam, you can get it done. Zeta doesn't push it to half. But that's the map for Cloud9, 13-6, a very solid performance from them.
So many good plays. You saw it.
Going to find out. But with Astra being in the mix, there's just a lot that we haven't seen out of Cloud9, which can be a scary sight for NRG because that's been kind of their second primary map. It's been Haven, Ascent, and then Bind that they have primarily focused a lot of their attention to. But with Cloud9 not having a lot of reps with Floppy in on Ascent, that might be something to note, something to look into. But as we see the comps kind of roll out, everything's quite standard.
I think some of my favorite combinations so far from Astra come in from Ascent. A lot of choke points, and like we said, you kind of start right at that spike site. So once the action starts, there's a pretty good area you're going to be able to activate a gravity well in, get a molly on there for anybody. So it's really neat to see what combinations they're still coming up with here on this. I mean, we still have Sovas in there for EU and Zeta, so they're going to be Hunter's Fury starting off these rounds and possibly opening them up, which I think we've seen teams shy away from a little bit. That was almost like tournament specific, and it'll happen from time to time when a team has a good idea of what intel they're using. But dry fire in the Sova ult has not been something we've really seen too much lately until that first bit of info will come through.
Yeah, there was like a big period of time where Sovas would just hold on for lockdowns.
Right, right.
Any lockdowns
Now they
that'll
have
come
all
in
the,
from
the
Garden.
shock dart arrows. So
Yeah, yeah, a lot more that they can use to try to keep that Hunter's Fury for something a little bit more valuable, especially if you're in the case of NRG for this attacking side, trying to find some opening picks. Maybe you're positioned for a lobby and you get a pick through Garden or through Tree. That might open up a hit very, very nicely for you if you're able to pop. And when NRG faced off against Xset, that was a very close series. But a lot of the edge that did come from NRG on their second half up against Xset, who were at match point, it was like 12-7. A lot of very unpredictable pops that kind of came in their way, came in their favor. We'll see if that does kind of come back to fruition here up against Cloud9 and if they're able to live.
NRG already varying up their first round strategy from what we saw Ascent previously. And it looks like they're going to be pushing in right through mid here. Killjoy Sova still coming through the B main, so they're going to have a good bit of Sentinel utility and find in the site. Let's see what they can do against C9 now.
Oh, Zeta holding lane. Mitch as well going to push through the smoke. Players are already on the site, but they were waiting for the perfect timing for the players to cross in. Not even a single player will fall. That is not the morale boost you want to start with if you're NRG, but Cloud9 secure pistol number 1.
It's kind of like a we got here, but do we want to be here situation for, for NRG. They're like, wait a minute, I don't like this anymore. Yeah, Cloud9, what a turnaround for that with the team getting onto the site so quick. You're not even really like kind of fake plant pressure. They had to worry about hitting the shots because C9 was right there on their backs immediately. And Poise usually goes for the Phantom here, and he'll just go for the buy on the Frenzy, so he's looking to save pretty hard. Armor on the
your own
Frenzy.
adventure book. You want to just go back to the original page that you started with.
Yeah.
Just go back. Turn back now. A little bit of a default here for NRG to start. Get early intel. Player in Sabrosa won't get spotted. That's going to be... I don't know if that's going to be super impactful, but... at least Tex has the ability to push up Cat, kind of relatively unknown. Will he make some noise?
So Android grabbed the alt orb over at A. They're going to go ahead and focus back towards B now. So they're still prioritizing the run it backs for when he can have them. And a good pressure here by Tex. Now Tex is 1, playing for kills, but 2, playing for audio cues to let the team know what's going on. They're going to start hitting the dart comes through. I think they're going to be okay to just take a bit more info here. Now C9 knows how they react.
Yeah, and really see Android with the spike. They were trying to get him 3 points this round. Like 4. Like they were trying to get that ult for that next round. I think they were really pushing for that.
Yeah.
30 seconds
but you know, you needed play the glass cannon build. You know, Android needed to be behind a wall of energy players. EU last man standing does get hunted down to tiles. Secondary flawless. Riv, I can imagine the economy is booming right now. It's the gold rush. Everyone's got a shovel over on Cloud9, and they are stacked right now. Gold nuggets.
Again? Poise is just... Wait, does he have daggers almost? Because he's going to keep a sheriff in armor this round. So they're going to push this money as far as they can. Obviously, everybody else on Spectres, no reason to throw those down, but he might stay with a pistol coming up on this one. We'll see that. And it looks like the rest of the team... Android up to getting almost his ult here. He'll focus this one again on A as the team gets a little bit of control there. And they can already see the placement of the stars. So everybody's a little wary to start off.
They do double back over to B main to secure that. I don't think they will. It's definitely an option.
Right.
But you see Cloud9, they're kind of inching. They're inching a lot closer towards the site hit. It's gonna go quite well. At least it's not exactly secure. Tex is on the site, but everyone's still stuck A main. Now they'll finally start to push in. Mitch is just trying to inch closer. See, who can he see on the opposite side? Now the doors close and the retake will have to come in. Cloud9 fast. It does look like they're kind of ready and laying in wait. Stars will go down. Poise on site has the sheriff. Looking to caterpillar his way in, and Android and Som not letting the rest of the team push through. Leaf now on the opposite front. That's a player down, but only one frag comes in. Zeta having to reload the clip. A solid hold here for NRG, but now the money's still going to be good enough for Cloud9 to buy in the round to follow.
Absolutely. 6,400 there for Poise, and that's the operator. So there's the intention we saw on continuous saves for him. They get to start off with hard angle holds now. We are seeing, as we said, it becomes specific, Simo, a few Vandals creeping in to the majority of Phantoms we've seen here throughout the VCT in the later stages. So two of those, and we'll see if they can get some one-taps here amongst the operator in the hand of Poise.
This is a pretty important round for Cloud9 to win, I would say. You know, having that operator, that could slip away very easily if you get kind of caught off guard, and he's playing in a position where he can get caught off guard. See how much resources, how many resources Beef was hanging around, trying to help him out, ready for a kind of a swing if he did end up falling. Shots not going to connect on Android. Now Poise having to use a lot of utility just to escape. Not worth the cost there, but he's at least going to have another chance with that op.
Slowly taking mid control. They don't have too much on their backside just yet. So they're banking on nobody pushing on the big flank right now. So action here may either be quick or they're going to start retreating a little bit. Yeah, so they start retreating a little bit to make sure that A is covered. It's either that or mid.
Oh! Did he spot Mitch there? I don't think he did with the owl drone. He didn't quite clear it. He was more focused on getting the owl drone a sightline towards spawn, so doesn't play a factor though, as they are going to start to group up over towards A. Zeta with a pick onto Tex. So now the push down cap's not going to be an impact. There's going to be another ultimate there for Android. Shots not quite connecting for Leaf as Android takes him down. Poise just trying to inch closer and closer. Does he have the angle? Does he have the shot? Has to connect on the turret instead, and down to 31. As the rest of Cloud9 have started to join the front. Push, the retake. Mitch leading that charge, has the turret. He wants to bait out a peek. Android, the timing of this curveball has to be key. There's the swing, and now Mitch on the retreat. At least one will fall. There's the turret to give him a little bit of an opportunity to body peek. Does get traded for Android. Floppy. His Poise has also fallen, re-peeking heaven. EU just trying to provide some space. Back away. And shots won't be good for Floppy. A solid round for NRG. An op available to pick up, and Cloud9 lose their economy.
That was a big round. That was C9 stacking all the way up to get that operator. Like you said, a big round for NRG there to reset things, and now they can start to control the game. We said getting a hold of everything early, setting the tempo would be very much in their favor with the style of play they bring to the table. EU standing on top tall with that Sova Android just behind him. And they do have the Blade Storm and the Hunter's Fury to start off this round. They're matching Zetas and a lockdown, so we'll see if those are saved and how they decide to play round 5 as we're here on map 2.
NRG doing their homework first. They know they have the upper hand. With Poise on the opposite side with the Bucky, a little bit scary. Oh, they can confidently swing. Everyone's going to come join. Caps was dead to rights with the amount of players that were ready to die for the success of that frag.
I love that little
with all
ladder
that intel.
peek.
Oh, where?
Oh, no, how they laddered out to peek.
Oh, yeah. And now, despite finding that frag, no Riv, this a big push over to A. The spike was over towards B and Tiles near spawn, so they have to rush it back over. And this lockdown makes that a challenge, because the timing of the spike getting there is not going to be enough to secure it. There's going to be the Hunter's Fury to try to take out the lockdown. It will end up falling, but a lot of players fall as a result. Hunter's Fury finds another. This eco is slowly starting to come into the hands of Cloud9, and Poise finds 3 on the Thrifty. A solid comeback for Cloud9.
I feel like we're gonna get a punch for punch here, Simo. Oh my word, econ or not, Cloud9 is swinging for the fences. That 1-2-3 peak, sorry to confuse everybody out there. That was a weird terminology. Rivisms are a thing, they're rampant, I'm sorry. But just how they did that, confidence to fly back over after control of just one rifle to retake the site that fast. They knew they had an upper hand once they broke whatever was happening at B, so why hesitate? C9 just a little bit ahead of NRG there, and we'll see if NRG can still hold strong. Blade Storm with a Sheriff is how Tex is going to play this one.
Got the blades out already. Owl Drone's going to spot out a lot of these players mid. I think Tex does get spotted by it. as the timing of that was just time. One player does, I think, tag. Someone got tagged by it. Still, though, Dr. Arts will delay the push. Smoke's down. They can't quite push in quite yet. But with this mid control, you see Cloud9, they're not really quite letting NRG have the complete freedom to push up through spawn. Yeah, we'll let you have Fruit Market, but that's all you're going to get. We're going to hold it strong, and you're not going to have any of that early space, which their NRG are very happy to take. They like more.
I feel like a lot of times the patience in that is what I call an audio push, is where you're waiting, hear a footstep or two, know somebody's at least in your area, and if you can collect those points from 2 or 3 spots, you have an idea where you can move up even a little bit more. Information pays off big time. Lead's going to start off on to Daps as things get running with 30 seconds left.
Empress popped as well means that this B push is a problem, so they're going to hightail it out of there, and the A3 Killjoy setup is going to delay it even further. Mitch, how many players is he good for? Good for one. Still Floppy now there as well. Android manages to find the frag, but they need to plant. Leaf now starting to chase them down. EU is just holding the gate, just trying to hold them back, but Android, you'll get the credits, you'll get the spike point, but that's all you're going to get. Cloud9 in the lead by 2.
Good mention on the alt point. That is the run it back. They have the Cosmic Divide. Bladestorm was used that round, so you'll see that go away for Tex. But they're going to need everything here. With the momentum, C9 is starting to grab. Zeta is starting to take off. He came into this tournament, and everyone was like, yeah, Zeta sometimes, Zeta this. It's been consistent. This guy is starting to put up more than 2K rounds. He'll have 3v1 situations. And he's definitely a force to be reckoned with here. The C9 squad that's been put together recently is absolutely popping off. And it's going to be tough to stop him here. We'll see if they can continue this. They're only 2 rounds up on NRG, but the way they've been capitalizing on the thrifty rounds, on getting back on the rounds when it is gun versus gun, is quite promising to keep this lead.
A little bit of a gentleman's handshake as both Jets jump peek. Okay, you jump peek, I want to do it too. It looks cool. You know, it's a cool little movement. Aladrone used to scout out who's on the opposite side. Shots were heard from Cat, so Doctor's going to delay it. Doesn't look like Tex was the only one to get tagged there. Op, though, like that smoke, but you gotta go. You gotta go. Shot's not going to connect onto any player. As now the spike will get planted. Still, some of these ultimates are available for NRG if they do decide to use them. That's going to be the plays. Updraft over. I like that from Boys. Very unexpected for NRG. Now the push in. They're looking to get active on this eco. Force them back. Oh my goodness. This is our site. This is our turf. Daps in EU. Last player standing. Daps though on the flank. He is being spotted out here by Zeta. Now EU. He's not going to get it.
Only so much you can do on the eco. And they get themselves a bit of damage there. You can see armor rebuys coming in for C9 on a few members, so it does hurt a bit there coming in for Floppy and Poise, but otherwise, it's another big buy coming in here for the side of NRG. We'll see what they can do. Lockdowns there, Cosmic Divide, and run it back. The most optimal way to go about it is to be able to sort these through the next few rounds to find a way to chip away at that economy of Cloud9 Blue right now, but they may have to throw all of it at once somewhere if they can't start to stack a few more orbs. They're running out of options, and it looks like C9 is starting to read them here. They turtle a bit, rush everybody to one site, Simo, and their retakes have just been pretty immaculate.
Yeah, not to mention that the longer you delay using those ultimates, the less of a chance you have another one left in this half.
Right.
And higher chance that Cloud9 builds one to potentially counter what you have prepared. Like right now, there's a lockdown available for NRG. There isn't a Hunter's Fury or counter lockdown for Cloud9. So this is a perfect opportunity to try to incorporate some of that utility like you highlighted.
Flank still being watched. They have the turret up towards B. That's going to be hanging out with Poise right now for the side of Cloud9 Blue. So the operator's focused there. It's a good choice so far for NRG to be working around that. Orb's already been grabbed from this position as Sam is just waiting around to make a move for the squad here. Nice hot hands to start off over, and that moves Leaf out of his position. Is it going to work?
Yeah, he still manages to get away. Unfortunately, can't find anything as there is a player that falls, but it's a beautiful recon bolt from Zeta. He spots out 3.
You should
It'll
run
only
spike
capitalize onto 1 so far. Here's the lockdown we highlighted. No shock darts available as Zeta has already used some of that clear utility. So Cloud9 wants to fight. 4 seconds remaining. Not a lot of time left before players start to get detained. They will back away just in time. Spike still taking 2 players, rather 3 left for Cloud9. Boy swaps to the Phantom, looking to get active. Dropping smoke. Leaf with 1. Crossfire's good. Another. It's up to Daps, and it's good from Leaf. They work in tandem to take apart NRG and sit up 4 rounds.
That was something else from Cloud9, but a not should have happened from the side of NRG there with the way they had the coverage on the site. The scatter here that Poise is able to create really just starts to sort them NRG's side different ways. They didn't know which way to look, second guessing angles. Is something else right there for Cloud9 to be able to get back on that round, and it just shows how confident they are in the angles they're creating for themselves, knowing where they'll be, what they'll then take a shot at, and what will be a threat next. It's planned out 2-3 steps ahead, and we just saw it get rolled out there in front of us.
The patience. Fortunately has to get out. Tailwind not used, so we like that. They'll still push forward though. Oh, has the angle towards the Kench bench. Shots onto Android, but still, oh, the repeat. Now the Tailwind comes in. Zeta here to support. Getting a little dicey. NRG have a lot of this control from mid. Still Spike back down Cat. The A site's been completely left wide open, but this flank from Leaf, he finds a pick onto Tex. You don't pay attention, you find yourself in positions like that, thinking Cat is free, Cat is unarmed. No, Leaf finds that opening pick, and that's huge for this round.
Yeah, this C9 squad is putting up some numbers versus teams, but the only falter we're seeing is once they come to close out the maps. And they did the same thing versus Envy. A lot of people questioned if Envy came to play that day, but I think we have to just question, is Cloud9 Blue coming to play even harder? Are they that hungry right now? We're seeing these plays from them that look quite unstoppable, and the tests are being told right here. Cosmic Divide is up. Still have the operator for Poise. Let's see how they hold this one.
Oh, the running headshot. Oh, they fight 3 just in succession like that. EU's just trying to hold on to the post-plan Hunter's Fury. That's another one that comes into his pocket. And it's a great round from NRG, utilizing those ultimates to not let Cloud9 have that comfort that we've been talking about. They'll secure round 3.
Sometimes you just got to flex back to the textbook, right? Just say, all right, Hunter's Fury on the spike defuse. We're good to go. Nice defense. And NRG able to pick them up a very nice round there. Even getting sorted out here in the beginning of the round. Making it work for themselves. And then EU coming up big here in the end. So they find themselves at 6-3. Still very much so anybody's map, I should say. And we'll see ultimates now just up for Mitch here. On deck is Zetas, and on deck is Tex with that Blade Storm for NRG. So we'll see what their focus tends to be. And that's even with Tex on deck, that is Android's all for it. You see the focus. You see it, right?
Yeah,
holy moly.
I see it. Like a older and younger brother. You know, the older brother always gets the new shoes. The younger brother's stuck with the second hand-me-downs.
Yep.
Got those DC Vans that the
And
older brother
and he gets the spike. And he gets
yeah.
spike.
Oh
One away now.
God. They're just feeding him. He's a chunky boy. Nice and full. Gets a pick. He can use that for a post-plan hold if he wants. I mean, I'd probably argue you want to hold on to that as we see the fight now start to break out. Pop shots. That's going to be Android down. He'll have to run it back, but at what cost? His life. Hunter's Fury now clearing out the wine cellar. It's Leaf there catching the flank onto Dab. Still the players in A main. Smokes keep going down. Boys going in with the shorty. He'll be taken down. And still now 2 players peek 1 at a time. And Zeta will say thank you very much. Cloud9 up by 7.
Zeta grabs the operator. Says here you go. 11-4 Leaf. 11-4 Zeta. And we go back to our kind of head-to-head with Mitch and Daps, and it just does not seem like Daps can get off the ground this game. Holding flanks a little bit, obviously grabbing info. You're one of the last members after the rest of your duelists and everyone's fighting in, so you can't blame him for too much. So it's been tough for them to get those frags, and that means less economy, less lockdowns, less things you're able to use to make that game in your favor. Spikes in spawn currently, so this is probably going to be a little slower.
Say that as Tex goes hunting. No! Still manages to find the frag, but he doesn't have the blades anymore. He is going wild, pushing back sight. Daps will help out and assist with the Nano Swarm, but look at Android trying to find a lot of space with the run of back. Garden's clear, tree is clear. We can play for this post plant, but the Spike's back in spawn. This Cloud9 are ready to fight for this. They find one pick easy. Som down in hell. He's vulnerable, but still he's putting up numbers. That's 2 for Som, and Android will find the last NRG with a solid round.
If you don't know what you're doing, how do they know what you're doing? No, I'm just kidding. Just frag it out, man. Just take the shots, make it happen. They baited him into the site, hook, line, and sinker. Great job by Som, too, to start cleaning up. The rounds like this in the middle as well are good for confidence. Get the blood flowing, make sure that aim is on, not second-guessing yourself. We get a few rips there for NRG, and they're feeling good. 4-7. 5-7, and like we said, they get a lot of what they can do here on defensive side, so these attack rounds for NRG really, really count.
See some of the conditioning kind of playing into factor for this last round. Fortunate that Cloud9 kind of sniff things out. They do their checks early and mid, and nobody is there, so they'll rush onto the B side here for NRG, and really it's been a lot of 8 hits. Wow! As the door is closing, that might be the door closing on NRG's round. As Tex is down, Android playing the snail. That's his role play here. Pushing forward is the opposing Jet, and Leaf will be able to deal with that accordingly. Dap is just trying to play on the site.
Oh,
EU,
no.
the last player standing, and with the spike planted, trying to figure out where he's located. They got him dead to rights. An 8-4 half for Cloud9. Despite it being quite comfortable for them, NRG have shown this is not over.
Yeah, 4 is a good padding. You can easily mess with a few rounds here, and if NRG holds true to those pistol rounds kind of going to the wayside, it's not something they need to win the map. Here, it could be pressure. With knowing it's second map, they want to drive it to a third. This one could have a little more meaning to it, so they could just go for something full 5-man to a site. Again, I don't feel like we see a lot of hard fakes until after half of the map and a little bit more has gone through. And by that, I mean hitting a site with 2 and oppositely hitting another one immediately. What we're seeing is full rotations, utility used, a reset, and then hits. But the quick takes, I think, now are what start to take hold here as everybody's juiced up. Cobwebs are shaking off, and we're starting off the second half here. Let's see how pistol goes, and then we go from there.
I think you bring up a pretty valid point. I think that was what NRG's play style on the attack was looking to be, a little bit more snake oil salesman-y, but they kind of got to that point in the later half. Now they're on the defense. They've switched up some of their Killjoy setups here, a little bit more towards the door, but Cloud9 playing for the window. Boyce has to reload. He's quickly traded before EU finds 2 on the way out. Now with Mitch kind of coming in from heaven, Daps was almost in trouble. Android still manages to help him out, but the 6th man in the lobby finds a frag, and NRG win the pistol, their first pistol of the series.
As much as I yell at my turret sometimes, it's great. It's a great thing. Always fun to be able to get those frags and keep your focus on what is necessary, and that's the next person. We'll see what C9 decides to do. Now, Leaf and Poise are always looking for a different weapon here on the second round. Poise may just go save. Leaf, okay, Sheriff. Always something. I love it because the potential of those two, or even anybody but Leaf, is that confidence that he's gonna come out, he's gonna one-shot somebody, he's gonna be able to dismiss, cause chaos, and grab that weapon, and then provide for the team a little bit more. So that's always his mentality, to go in, get something, pull back, do more. Boom! As he starts it off.
Literally, as you're talking about it, he finds one. Can he find another?
Oh,
wow,
my word.
He can. The overheal puts him back into the mix very easily. Android just trying to hold on to the Spectre for dear life. Has to reload the clip, and he's going to have time to do so. Mitch laying in wait. Leaf pushing in through the market. There is going to be Som off to the side, waiting for a player. Leaf does spot things out, drops down to logs. Will he bring that lumber? Shot's gonna be good onto Sam. He's just trying to hold on, and eventually he will fall. Spike
One enemy
is
remaining.
being planted. Now it just falls onto Mitch. A great nano swarm, but it's well timed from Sam to deal with it. Mitch with the Spectre. This could be a factor, but he's so focused on lane. They're pushing together through the stairs.
One enemy remaining.
And wait! Whoa!
Oh my word.
Oh, that was close, Riv.
That one moment when you hold your breath. What a round, though. You see the power that Cloud9 comes out with in these rounds, just able to sheriff when they need to. Leave considered a frenzy that round, by the way. And then he went back to the sheriff, so great choice. But that's what makes them so dangerous, is even if the rounds are going to go your way, your economy was destroyed. Everything heard about it. You only left with one alive kind of thing. And that's why it becomes so hard to fight teams like C9, because they'll make the rounds you do win that much harder. Here, we're into NRG, getting the rounds. Let's talk about them. Operator's out here for Tex, and he's trying to hold down mid with pretty good utility still in hand. No updrafts, though, so he's focusing the smokes and cloud burst to keep himself safe.
Timing! Leaf gets taken down by the operator.
Quick.
Now Cloud9, they have to consider that, right? That has to be something in the back of their mind. They don't win this round. Okay, there's an op in play. How do we play around it? We obviously have the smokes. They've already used a few. We need to consider how that moves forward, because still Tex is not really going to let them cross through the market.
The slow peek again.
Like that turret.
Yeah, it's always a tricky one because you want to shoot at it, but you take that shot and 3 people are peeking you from down middle. I like the patient play here. NRG, knowing they should not be peeking as Cloud9 is taking a bit of ground. NRG feels like they have the defensive positions that they need. The C9 tries to suss out what could be next, and Android's going to find the first of that cavalry. C9 up through tree.
Yeah, this is going to be problematic. Tex is already looking to peek heaven. Wants those shots, and like a fly swatter, poised down, but Zeta on the flank. That's now the op out of commission. Still a 2v2. One player that gets tagged by the recon bolt is out of commission as well. And Sam on this defensive half has started to look so good as they find the bonus that they needed. NRG are trailing by 1.
Sam and Tex full house there. Double on Tex, Sam with 3. You get the operator rolling. Yep. Please pick it up for me. I need that. As they choose which one it'll be. This first shot, it starts to spell a lot of things for the round, because then you saw how much control Cloud9 wanted to put on that. Tex was like, I'm probably leaving already. An operator always changes position. Always. An operator usually changes position because of the aggression you'll find to the utility that's going to follow after you getting a successful shot. There, Cloud9 said, Tex is going to peek again. Let's take him out. He moved, was able to get a second one, and then in the chaos, Sam comes up big. As we move into round 16, looks like we're going to get a little split love for the map here. You do see all the way up top, Floppy's still hanging out in mid, so this could go towards A still.
Third is, I think, going to be how Cloud9 deal with the op. You know, you're supposed to use like flashes, smokes, push the op off. They're going to use a turret.
Who's there? Who's there?
Leaf, though, look at this position, because they know the op is positioned over to the opposite side. Android checks, though. Very well done. Leaf tries to re-peek as Android will push the issue. Now things will be a little bit more challenging. They actually use a lockdown. Seems like it'll guarantee the plant. What happens next from this point?
Spike down. Pretty good for now. Oh, okay. That was unexpected. Floppy takes down Tex here, and now NRG trying to make sure they can get in with 4v3. There is a Spectre on Zeta, so this could be a little bit more of a troublesome factor here, but Zeta could be in a one-and-done position. If he doesn't get this first kill here, he will be able to capitalize on EU.
That's huge, because now he has a Phantom, and he can play this passively if he wants. They have to deal with him, and you see one player ascend. It's Dabs. Does find the frag that's necessary. Mitch now all on his lonesome in 1v2. One player holding the ankle. I was a little bit too close for comfort, but once again, trusty old Sam. Do they have time? Wait, did he just let go of it for like a quick second? That was... You're playing with time, man. 2 seconds, that was... You know, I mean, mind you, going off and on wasn't 2 seconds, but... That's a little close.
Little scary. Look at those frags and the score lines for Cloud9 Blue there. Everybody throwing their hat in for this one. It's still double digits almost across the board as well for Energy, which is why you're getting that 8-8 score line. It's kind of it's awesome to see that both of these teams backs against the wall, more so Energy with the back against the wall, not that they're doing it more, can keep their mentality in the game. You know, it's easy to kind of get to a point, especially where for a captain, a shot caller, anybody, for things to not be working and it to get quiet. And silence is chaos, especially when it comes to having comms in a tactical FPS. So seeing both teams still persevere through all of this pressure, the length of these tournaments is super awesome and promising. I cannot wait for international play, Simo. But I digress. Yeah. We're round 17 here in this series right now. C9 Blue 5 away from being able to lock up the series, but Energy does not want that to happen as we got a little bit of a B take.
Ice in the veins, more like Iceland in the veins. We see Cloud9 looking over towards B. It's relatively free. They've got the ultimate, the Cosmic Divide, but Daps, he was waiting by the logs. Expensive lumber is what Leaf will find. Takes out Daps, and now they've got that site locked down. 4v3, a very doable scenario. They've got to run it back, so technically a 4v4. But they also have a Cosmic Divide of their own. You see the stars starting to go down. Here it comes, the push forward. Now this flash through. They're trying to use Android as scapegoat in. That's going to be the first trade. There's going to be at least a frag with utility from Android, but the smoke will dissipate, and he's all on his lonesome 1v2. Zeta holding from lane. Boys back sight, but Zeta well timed there on the swing to look towards the stairs. Cloud9 secure a round.
All right, Energy has quite a few ultimates here to make sure this one goes in their favor. They don't really have to be working or looking for all orb control from Cloud9 Blue. Not really anybody that close. They could get poise up to that position, but it looks like it's going to actually be a bit of a slower round here. That full util, I did see the Bulldog for Mitch, so I thought it might be tuned down, but he just looked like he wanted full utility. So gets himself a Bulldog. It'll be fine for him. I love this nade over. That's going to stop anybody from an insta-cat, and you can get yourself right in the mid.
Both duelists, though, are pushing up through B main. We've seen Cloud9 kind of fishing around in prior rounds, but this time they're sending their efforts up mid. This is a very interesting crossfire because on the opposite side is Som. Hunter's Fury used to try to get some early intel. A pick does end up falling in the pocket. Som, who's lurking in the shadows, does find a trade for his team. And a very injured Boys, which I'm imagining may have come from the Hunter's Fury. And another one comes in. The Owl Drone's going to spot out 2 players mid. There's the swing. Mitch somehow will survive. And another. How is Mitch coming up with these picks? Now it's Daps and EU. There's Daps holding the off angle in the tree. There's the trade. Floppy can find an upgrade, but stays with the Spectre. Or being closed. 1v1 with EU. Goes the direction of the door. So now that it's being sprayed, Floppy can play with that. Where do you go? Okay, smoke down.
Ooh. Utilities there as well for you.
Got the recon bolt. And a shock dart spray! Not enough. And I was thinking, I was like, there was like weapons on the floor. He could have picked up a Phantom, but just stuck with the Spectre.
Right. It is.
Round for Energy.
I mean, you almost want to take the fight to figure out if he's there. You kind of hear him shoot the door, so you figure it's going to be there. But to give that distance to a Phantom is kind of peculiar. It's still, you know, it could have been a quick headshot. It's either way. Yeah. You know, it's definitely not a mistake. 9-9 as we get into round 19. It's so back and forth now, and Energy again starting to ramp up a little bit more, figure out what's going to be able to get them these wins. They do have an eco round now pushed onto Cloud9 Blue, and this is where Cloud9 Blue has basically come out like a slingshot on their eco round. So let's see if they do it again.
This is very similarly to how the match against Xset went for Energy. Very back and forth. There was a moment where Energy were down 5 rounds and managed to swing it back. Cloud9 not quite there yet. Considering this is eco, Energy could catapult back to an advantageous position. We've seen eco rounds definitely go a little worse for wear. Lockdown and Bladestorm available. So As we see the blades are out. Tex from Heaven does find Leaf pushing in. You see Poise just trying to deal with Tex because smoke goes down, he can't quite do so. Lockdown is down, and as they're trying to play for the lockdown, push in, Som finds two, Zeta gets traded. Mitch has to wait outside. Got his keys in his car. Now he'll decide to go back in there, defusing the spike this round. He's as good as NRG's. What a hold there from Tree. From NRG, despite it being the eco, they just shocked them completely.
One of my favorite things to see is that kind of false sense of security strategy. You give the opponent the idea that they have something, and you can kind of see once Cloud9 Blue got into A, if you haven't taken anything or anyone once you got in there, especially on an eco, you're like, I feel very uncomfortable being in here right now because they're looking at us, every one of them. And that's what it was, right? Sam turns around, says, thank you very much. You're all hiding where we need you. And they played that one perfectly for the retake. I love seeing that little false sense of security play there as C9 Blue was able to waltz right into A, and NRG swept the rug out from under him. It's 10-9 as they get the lead here on our second map of Ascent. Haven going the way of Cloud9 Blue in this series. And we'll see if NRG can keep this on, persevere, and push this all the way to match point, keep the pressure on, and take it.
Tactical pause. I'm imagining for Cloud9, Coach Autumn, what do you have hooked up for the strategy here for Cloud9? Doesn't seem like anything is kind of out in the ordinary. Mitch kind of playing still in the same position over towards tiles, making sure that he can have a little bit of presence and identity over here as they try to play a little bit aggressively through B main. He gets some of that information too, like Earth destroyed, nano delay. The rest of Cloud9 over towards A once more.
Drone and everything, droned out wine, making sure there's no play. I don't think we've seen that play yet, but this is the time you would expect to see those little changes in everybody's positioning. The push already coming out of B is going to alert NRG that they can start making a big move on A.
Yeah, Daps in a great position. He finds one on the way out as well, just down to Leaf, but he can make this costly. This is where Reynas are born. This is where Reynas are bred. One more, yep, now the duelists are starting to come through. He finds the flash! Leaf, no way! He gets the ace in the 10th round for Cloud9.
Play of the tournament by Leaf. Absolutely disgusting transfer of aim on the secondary shot, choosing the correct targets, understanding the patience he had and the time to work in sight with EU, and then this, boom, boom. It doesn't get any better than that.
Can you name a more perfect scenario for Reyna players? Like, that is like a wet dream. Reynas wake up in the middle of the night hoping and dreaming for moments like that. And Leaf gets his as we now move on to the next round. Empress popped in just like that. The Reyna wakes up from a nightmare. A quick trade there for Mitch in the lockdown to secure the A site, but Som very deep back site. Once more, we see that same adaptation from the round prior. Som, he holds them off as the duelists start to lurk throughout the map. It's a 2v3.
See what they can get. Floppy and Astral. Cosmic Divide goes straight up towards Heaven. That's going to block off everything towards the window. Let's see if they can get through now. It's broke. Oh, break the glass after it is, but I don't think the gun can get through, so they could ability it. But he's waiting for Android. Quick shot to the face. Somebody coming through. Zeta tries to tag him, and it is going to be the push from Tex right after.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Very, very tough one. Fuse comes in 11-10. One thing we have to pay attention to, though, Riv, is this consistent play from NRG over towards B main. It's like ever since that tac boss, they've just pushed those duelists through, regardless of a player playing there. And Cloud9 have, consistently opted in for that A play. You see that once more. Tex and Android running straight towards B main. This will be the first round, though, that Cloud9 play for tiles. If they play it a little bit more patiently and passively, this could be very problematic for Tex and Android.
See how they do it. Daps and Android looking to push out already and get a little control on A, but the focus onto B is correct here for NRG. They're going to hear that drone going up mid, I believe, from their trek towards the B main here. Do they actually want this without knowing too much? Tex is going to be there. They're going to get the help. Now Mitch is able to drop Tex in this firefight, and it's chaos in B main, Simo.
They still find Android and Tex in the process. All that's left is EU with 70 HP. He does have the Hunter's Fury. Recon Bolt, the classic spot there for the backside of B.
Hightail it out of there.
Yeah, they're gone. They're outie. See what happens though now as they rotate over towards A. There's still a turret there, and you see Daps is within the range of the turret, so that's going to spot players out. Intel now gathered. Alarmbot as well. Or rather, that's for A main. That's popped. And they double back. This is a little bit of a do-si-do.
Gotta love it. Oh, too close to mid, and they'll hear this. Audio cues are going to be there. And there it is. A few shots just for the peak, just for the play.
Nice
Kind of taunting him a little bit too. As 3 run, that could be an easy pick if 1 is peeking.
30 seconds left.
And they're going to be 3 in the site now, so they get themselves where they need to be in B, that side of Cloud9 Blue here. And they put a new timer on the clock as Spike is down and NRG's coming in with 3 of their own.
Look at all the ultimates though. This is about to get bloody. Do you save it for this round? Or rather, do you use it this round? Do you save it for the next? How do you close this map out if you're NRG? Cosmic Divide, I think, is likely going to be placed here. You see some of those stars start to come through. What ultimate ends up getting used? They've got a couple of upgrades as well. Zeta with 1. What do you plan on using? Cosmic Divide, it's a little bit too late, NRG, as Cloud9 tie us up.
Oh my, I love that we're going round for round right now. You got top fraggers on both sides, everybody trying to get themselves in there. We got a triple double coming out now for EU as he's 17, 15, and 11. This one's going to give us everything, and we may even get to overtime here. Remember, the NRG was able to pick up most of their rounds coming in onto the defensive side. 54% of the rounds come in. They were not able to get too much in the win rate on attack. So whatever they're able to muster up here is really in their favor. If they can get a few more, they put C9 back in the money game just a little bit. And already we see it has to be pushed here for judges, for energy. So th're trying to squeeze out what they can and find these rounds.
Oh, EU. Legolas will be proud, still connecting with those shots. The spray through Android opens up with poise. Considering the economic disadvantage, this could be good to find that weapon upgrade off the floor. Mitch, though, does find one cross map, and this B site is wide open. Alarmbot as well in that choke point. He needs to hold on to this while the rest of the team start to funnel through. You're seeing them start to funnel in from B. The Owl Drone is going to be used. Didn't spot him, but he still played for it. Now the spray! Mitch! He finds 2. They line up for him. Tech's last player standing. Riv. That hurts so much if you're NRG.
Rounds you really, really need. You can write that in the last page of that one, but it's not over yet. That's not all she wrote. But man, is Cloud9 making it tough here. Just around the corner. Doesn't matter. Seeing stars. And those stars are a 3K for Mitch as he comes up very, very big. And the Mitch and Daps head-to-head, we have been seeing Mitch just play out of his mind. 24, 18, and 4 right now, putting up huge numbers as the Sentinel, and he continues to do so for Cloud9 Blue. Energy still in this with 1 more round to tie it and bring it into overtime.
Let's get a lay of the land here for Energy. Blade Storm, Lockdown, and Run It Back. Imagining the Run It Back is going to be used for the retake, right? You see the position of Android. He's really nowhere near an opportunity to kind of get active. So they may want to play with a style of letting Cloud9 have the site, or at least trying to provide a little bit of adversity, and then chalking it up all the way to Android, saying, hey, you do your thing. But look at this fake. Lockdown here for Mitch. They haven't seen anyone push in, but they're still committing so much from Energy that hurts quite a bit. Player on the lurk. Thief catches the cross. Now smokes go down. And they find a pick for free. Android from range, and he's gone. The Run It Back is out. That is such a crucial piece of the pie that needs to be eaten for Energy to win this round. 3v5 is where we sit now, Riv.
This becomes tough. A great control of mid coming in from Poise, from Leaf. Zeta was able to waltz through B main alone, all because of the lockdown you called in the beginning by Mitch. to start us off. C9 knew exactly what they wanted to do this round without falter. Now they're flying around, grabbing kills here from the view of Tex, but Mitch.
Hackers win.
Mitch, Simo, gonna answer that one and end it for Cloud9 Blue.
Talk about MVP. That was Mitch's map. Yes, I know Leaf
Yeah.
popped off, but we will see the score.